Something ain't right in construction. It ain't right in London right now. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the key points which I've found with my research, because you know I do my research when it comes to things like this. In this video, I will be talking about agencies, construction, self-employed, and why they are both struggling today. Even if you're like myself, someone that's got experience, 20 years in the game, 23 years in the game, moving like Kobe in the game, but you still can't find nothing solid. So I've been searching high, low, everywhere. Indeed, CV Library, Read, agencies, just to find a job. But it's always matched with the wrong skill level to myself, right? So I'm a supervisor. Why am I going to be doing engineers jobs? I'm not. I'm overqualified to do that position. So therefore it doesn't really make it sustainable for even my future. So I realised I was going in them jobs, out of them jobs. Yeah? Because there is no growth. Do you get it? The rates are low. We can't afford to be paid a low amount of money for our skill, trade, and our experience. And the qualifications on top of that. The process to get any job today seems longer than a birth of a child. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't care if people like it or not. And it's not just no work. It's just how the system is now today. In 2026, yeah, I'm not just talking about me having a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to be talking about the self-employed people, because I bumped into my mate. Yeah, my mate is out there doing self-employed work, even as an electrician. And I've been out there myself doing work as self-employed plumber. The game has changed. I just want to let people know this now. And if you watch this, you will be informed. So get yourself a cup of tea, smash that bell, because you need to know when I'm dropping these types of videos. And you also need to take some note from these videos. So when I say the game have changed, you're thinking, what the hell do you mean? I mean, 10, 15 years experience, yeah? It ain't doing anything nowadays. And I say it ain't doing anything nowadays because now, today, we've got the faster process, which should be an onboarding system, which helps filter people through. And that is called an agency. You got to understand, workplaces, I'm first going to talk about employment first. People who are employed through plumbing companies, building services companies as well. So if this relates to you, or you're thinking about, oh, okay, I'm going to get a job as a plumber and, you know, I'm going to get trained up and then I'm going to go into thing. I'm just going to tell you what's happening now. What you do with this information, whether you download this video, whether you subscribe, it's your business. I would tell you to subscribe because this information is going to help you, because I've been going through it myself. Right. Let's get on with it. So the reason why I say it's changing so much is because we've got these big building service companies, right? They're maintenance managers. And I'm going to say a name, but I don't want anybody to attack that name because I'm just using it as an example, right? So you've got a big company like CBRE. How the hell do they find their working people to work for them? I'm just using them as an example. It's not a dig at CBRE. I do not have any personal dealings with them. I'm just using it as an example to tell you how the system is today. Right. they get their workers and people that work for them through agencies, right? The agencies do this onboarding system where they vet people and all of that type of stuff. They ain't got the capability to do it inside CBRE. They'll have to build 25 more buildings, right? So there is multiple layers to most companies nowadays. And I just want to explain it so we all understand it and we can work our way around it and just understand some of the maths, right? So it starts off with the company. We're using CBRE as an example. It could be anybody. It could be BAM, Building Services. It could be anybody. I just want to say CBRE because it makes it easier. And most of you guys have seen that company. They're one of the biggest out there, right? Let's just keep it real. So you got the company, agency, and then you got you. Yeah? That's how it goes. So your client, so they don't pay, they pay the client. The client is, the CBRE is the client who's paying, yeah? Boom, they're the money person. And I just want to explain how it goes. So you've got your client who pays, because I'm wondering who pays. Client pays £400 to £500 a day for you. You get paid $300 to $350 to $420 a day. The agency takes a percentage of 15 to 25%. So let's just break that down. £15 an hour, and they're charging 18 to £20 an hour, right? But you're doing your work for someone, and there's always someone who's in the middle who is taking a cut off something every single day. Yeah, like a taxman, basically. So how it works and why it's struggling, or let me say it like this. I'm going to explain why this whole thing is struggling and why people are struggling to get a job. Me included. You know, I had to think about, why is it not working for myself? What reasons is it not working? So, I've told you the platforms what I use. I use Indeed myself. I use CV Library myself. I've used Read myself, right? And at the end of the video, I'll even show you the proof of how many CVs I've been sending out, because your CV is your, where you've worked, your history, what you've been doing, right? So your CV is matched by keywords, yeah? It's not real experience, it's keywords. I want you to understand that. The recruiter that doesn't understand the technical levels, because they are not, they've got no qualifications in nothing. They've just got qualifications in reading and writing. I just want people to understand that, because there's many a times I've spoke to people who are from recruiting companies, and I've explained to them what I do. They have no clue. They don't know what a cooling tower is. They don't know what an FCU is. They don't know what balancing valves are. They have no idea. Companies like the CBRE, like the BAM, they cut costs by hiring for cheaper roles, right? So if you're not, and this is what happens to me, if you are overqualified, yeah, they're going to put you in a role which is under you. Hence why I've told you at the beginning, I am a qualified supervisor, years of experience. We're talking nearly going up to 8 years of experience in that role specifically. I've had maybe 10 years of experience doing the engineer roles, building services, right? So they'll always put someone in who is overly qualified to do a role which they could do the supervisor role. Nah, let's get him to do the engineer's role. Do you get it? I just want you to get it. Why things are getting worse right now in London is because we've got a lot of projects which have slowed the hell down through a lot of other reasons, yeah? And one of the big reasons is more to do with the work having a crash. So it slowed right down. Companies are cutting down on their budgets. They've been cutting down on their budgets for ages. So let's say a senior guy, a senior engineer like myself, yeah, because I am a senior engineer when it comes to what I do. They want to put you in mid-level roles, so it drops your rate. Your rate just dropped. It just dropped. Being theatrical here because we need to stress the points. Make sure you like and subscribe, because when I started to script this video out, yeah, I had to find proper research, because anyone can come on here and say, it's not working, shit's not going right, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk facts, my boy, my girls, facts only. Right. So the delay problem, and this is what keeps on happening to me. So I go for an interview, I get the job. They delay sending over the contract. Someone like myself is going to look through it. I can be fooled once, but not twice, because I'm not an idiot. So the delay starts with waiting for contracts, onboarding, and the company themselves. Some of this structure is always outsourced to agencies. They're supposed to be doing some of this, right? Which I'm going to talk about later. So you are ready to start work on Monday, but there's still a delay of a week. This is what happened to me. I'm talking myself, right? But I've spoke about the self-employed people before, but they need to get a real feature in this video as well. Because some of them come to watch this. They didn't come to get the full-time job. They come to do their own thing. They want it to be a Ricky Rose boss for themselves. So self-employed peoples, their reality right now is that they're getting cut from the agency, because what the self-employed person is having the most problems with today is chasing work. Chasing work can be something which is part and parcel. I've already told people before. I made a video on it. I've done a live, and I said, even if you worked in Islington and you was a self-employed plumber, yeah, you would need to do roughly 15 jobs a week. A week. And there's a minimum you have to get from all of these types of jobs for it to even be affordable, for you to afford to live in London. But if you're chasing people for money, how the hell can you make money? If you're chasing payments, how can you pay your own bills? You're always in a deficit. Big words what we're using today. Hope you guys are subscribed, because not only am I going to teach you words, I'm going to teach you what they mean. Deficit means that you're old. You're always in owing. That's long. That's not where you want to be in life, because you come to work to make money. Agencies versus self-employed. Simple breakdown. Get your pens. And this is the reason why myself, I look for employed work, because I'm trying to get more stability in my own life. I don't know what you lot are trying to look for whether it's Nemo, whether it's Willy. When I mean Willy, I mean, you know, the whale and all that. I don't mean anything else. I don't know what you're looking for, but this is why I wanted to compare them and give them simple breakdowns. Agencies, yeah, find work easy because that's what they do. But they're always going to give you low pay, less control in when you go through an agency. You don't really have much control over their process or how they want to deal with you, right? Self-employed. You keep more money. You work hard for that money. Fact. The risk is higher. So a lot of things are increased in that whole bubble of what you got to do. The real problem message here is clients, they're not paying good money anymore. But the system has cut out and will always have someone in between. Workers feel like they're squeezed. That's the reality. The money is there, but you're not able to reach it with the work what you're doing. Don't let this go over your head. So I always said to myself, how can this be improved or how can things be changed? So how much of a cut does agencies take in the UK for engineers and construction in temporary work and full-time work? Well, let's say, yeah? So it's 15 to 20%, 15 to 25% on top of the rate what you're getting already. So you can feel like you're on a high rate. Like I've felt like I'm on a high rate. There's a certain amount of money what I've asked for. I might ask for, like, when I'm on a contract job, temporary job, I'm asking for £30 an hour, 35. Certain times when I've even been teaching through an agency, I'm asking for 50 because I know they're killing it. And I knew that a long, long time ago because I've been doing this for the best part of like 20 years, you know. So at some point you get to start to understand the things what people do. And the reason why they talk to you in the way they talk to you. Like, oh yeah, I've got this great opportunity. I think you'd be a perfect fit. What it is this. But don't you notice that there's no negotiation, or the negotiation is as little as possible when it comes to the amount of money? And that's really the sole purpose why you're there. You're not there at a company because you like the people. No. We don't like any of these people. We like to get paid. We like Gucci. We like Versace. We like LV. We like nice things. We like duck and waffle. We like sexy fish. They don't care if you like any of these things. They don't care if you want to go M&S. They want to see you in Aldi's, Tesco's, where they buy their clothes. You know what I mean. Right, so they're taking that 15 to 25% on top of the rate. So you can now, it looks like you're getting charged for a high rate, but you're not making that. So in some people's cases, contractors are charging like £500 a day. The agency worker who's receiving the money is only getting £400 off of that. The agency is keeping £100 off of that. Over a year, yeah? Even though we don't ever work these things out, but this is the honest truth. So let me say the breakdown for you again. Contractor charges 500. Worker receives 400. There's £100 in there for the agency. Over 230 days, just look at it like that, they're making 23 Great British pounds off of your back. Yeah, don't let that go over your head. Off your back. So I know it's a bit shocking, but this is business, you know. So take it how you want. I'm just giving you the figures. I know I'm being super comical about it because it's interesting to find out the information. It's also damaging as well because you realise why it's so messed up. They call these things billing rates. They don't call them prices, but it is just a price. The client doesn't see your wages. They see a billing rate. Understand the terminology, what they use. And once you start to find out, yeah, it could make you salty. It could make you upset. But it's just the truth. So don't shoot the messenger. Billing rates. Skilled tradespeople are getting paid £25 to £35. Told you, this is what I get. I didn't even want to tell people what I get. Right. Supervisors, like myself, is be getting £28 to £40 an hour, right? So that includes your pay, national insurance, and the agency's profit. Do you get it? The hidden things with the agency, what they try to, you know, say like this is what we're paying for and stuff like this, you know, is payroll, you know, umbrella cost, employment costs, NI costs, pension costs, company costs, admin, onboarding. These are the real key points. Yeah? And this is how they ramp up that money and just hide it from you. Why this situation seems to be getting worse? Because normal people who just want to get a job, they're struggling. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Like, the agency's costs, I mean, they're a business. They're going to make money. If we just go back to like that one person who they've got on the books and they've made that 23 grand off of them. Let's say they've got, and I'm going to get my calculator out for this one. Let's say roughly they've got 20 people on the go. Yeah? They've got 20 people on the go. One person from the agency has got 20 people. I'm just going to show you this figure. That's how much money they're making off of 20 people. Do you think the agency's got more than 20 people? Of course. Do you get it? More than half of them, coming up to £500,000 business off of 20 people. You should always understand it is a business, and there are some things that you can take personally, but it kind of is what it is, if you get what I mean. But I know that like people feel that I'm not going to give them my money. I'm just going to go to an agency and stuff like that. Or I'm just going to make the money. So I'm not going to give the agency my money or make money for them. I'm just going to make the money myself. The self-employed person is chasing people for money. The self-employed person knows that the industry what they're in right now is saturated. It's like a wet top. There is everybody out there, Tom, Dick, Harry, Sarah, Stacy, trying to make money. Oh, I do little odd jobs. I'm a handyman, but I do this and I do that. The handyman is got a lower rate than you. So when someone has like a blocked toilet or something, I'm not going to call a plumber, I'm going to call a handyman. When someone's got a ring doorbell that needs to be put up, they're going to call a handyman. When someone has got an outside light to put up, they're going to call a handyman, because they know if they get an electrician or a company in, yes, it will be done properly, but they will be billed properly. Most people are trying to avoid that because of the crunch what they're in. England has never come out of this temporary recession what they've been in since COVID. Things have never been the same. I'll just be honest. And the onboarding system is gotten slower and slower to filter people through to getting jobs directly. And all of these agencies, they get a fee, which is called a finder's fee as well, when they find someone a job. I think before it was like, if someone's on like, let me see if I can remember. If you was on like 50k contract, yeah, they get something like 2.5 grand up to 3 grand if you stay in that job. And I know this because I've got many high-end jobs through agencies, but they were full-time jobs, so I didn't work for the agencies, but they had a finder's fee. And all they kept on saying to me is, you know, they're trying to give you a call every week or 2 weeks. How's it going down there? Is everything all right? Is everything going well for you? Like, I hope you're enjoying it down there. Blah, 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 blah. If I can do anything to help, just let me know, blah, blah. And you would think, what the hell are you calling me for? Why'd you keep calling me? Because they're checking up on their money. They're checking up on their little boy investment, which is you. You're going to help them buy a rollie. You're going to help them go to south of France with their girlfriend. Simple. They're going to tell you that they're in the same field as you. They've got to work and ask them how much money they make. Because those jobs are like sometimes commission based as well. So they're making extra on top of their flat rate anyway. Oh, my client, I haven't... And I want to say something about the agency people is 99% of those people have never ever met their client personally. They don't know them personally. They don't know what type of people they are. So they will match anyone who has those buzzwords on their CV with those people so they can get paid. Someone just put in the chat, they only hire you when they don't have any jobs anywhere else. True. So my point is that the industry is changing people, but us as engineers and building engineers, electricians, even some carpenters, they work as fabric engineers places. All of these people can be self-employed. But in both corners, it's just saturated, man. There is so many people. We are in such a struggle today. And a lot of people are not willing to admit it. Like I said, I've worked for high-end places. I've worked in King's Road. You've seen me in King's Road. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me. But what's happened over the time is that the middle person in a lot of that, which is the agency, has sucked out all the money. There ain't money to be there. There ain't a need to be there. But we have got to work at the end of the day. And stability is always the key to elevation. It's not the answer. Like, I want to tell people the answer to your problems is not always a job. It's fixing what's wrong. And fixing what's wrong stems from sometimes the channels, the system, how it's laid out. The system is always going to be designed for the company to win, to take less responsibility for the person who is employed by them. And when it comes to enrolling the people into the company, they take as least responsibility as possible. And I want you guys to understand that. Because the company will say, it wasn't us that vetted you, it was this person. They didn't follow our protocols. They didn't do what we asked them to do. You're not the right fit for this job anymore. These things can happen. But through my own industry experience, I'm only speaking on my own and speaking from data. I don't say data, data, which I found online, which backs up the statements which I've made. Because again, how do we make it better? Because without us tradespeople, construction, without us carpenters, electricians, plumbers, gas engineers, HVAC engineers, they don't have any industry. Think about that. They don't. But everybody has to put their feet down. But there's enough of us who are just surviving that we ain't willing to rock the boat, let's say. Because you are rocking the boat by disturbing the peace. Because agencies ain't going to give up that middleman drink anytime soon. But companies who are direct ain't got the facilities to deal with it. Because they don't want to deal with you directly, knowingly that you have a problem. I've had many problems looking at contracts. And when I do look at them contracts and I break them down, which I'll tell you from now, easiest way to break down any type of contract which you get, which is wording which you don't understand, put it in ChatGPT, put it in Google Genius, ask the relative questions, put in your CV into that and say, when we look at this job compared to this job, does it match my skill set? It will give you a straight yes or no answer. There's no guessing. I'm not saying AI or thing like that is the answer to everything, but I say but. I've said earlier on in this video that when you even are sending your CV or writing down the things what you've done, the terminology what you use, 99% of the people who read it have no Scooby-Doo on what it is. Oh, what's a cooling tower? Oh, what's bromine? Oh, what's a AHU? What's a FCU? Oh, what do you mean you change belts? Belts on what? Do you get it? If I told someone that I've previously worked on steam boilers, and if the TPS is too high, what do? Open the blowdown. They're not going to ask me certain technical questions because I know in my stomach, this part, they don't know. I'm willing to be questioned because, it's my ability to retain information and understand the things what I'm doing. That's my job. That's something I pride myself on. But I definitely pride myself on making these types of live videos where I'll be 100% with you. I have a script. You saw me looking down on my iPad. Yeah? And I do it because I feel that a lot of us today go to the internet to find out information. This is a video which, if you really take it in, the things what I've said upset the industry. Big time. Big time. Because we've got something which is not fixed. We've got something which is a problem. We've got something which keeps so many people out of work. And they're skilled tradespeople. Don't we need them? We don't need them because we've got other people who are saying, your skill set is not right for this job, or, I don't think you'll be a good fit. At times, when I had been putting my CV through, I wondered why the hell I wasn't the person that got through. And once I started to change my CV to align with the jobs which I wanted to go for, boom, started getting interviews. Boom, started getting jobs offered. But but I still had this same problem which was going on with the onboarding. Recently just got a job now, but onboarding process is taking so bloody long. What do I have to do? To go and find another one, even though I've got one, but the contract is not with me. We're 2 weeks later. This has happened to me before when I actually got a job for Santander. I got a job for the head of Santander, and what was told to me in the interview was very different to what was in the contract. When I questioned it, they said, "Oh, we just want you to sign the contract." Who does that? Am I a fool? Well, no one is a fool nowadays. I told you before, you get bit with something once, you learn a lesson from it. You don't let it happen to you twice, because we can't afford mistakes within our career or gaps. And there are so many tradespeople that have gaps within their career right now, and it's due to saturation of the market. It's due to you going out there chasing people and realizing, do you know what, this person ain't paying, or I can't find work, or I'm having to go onto platforms to be able to generate work or generate leads, and I'm having to pay for leads as a company. So what does this make sense? And I do want to talk about the self-employed thing for a second, because I just remembered something. When I was talking to my pal yesterday, he goes to me, "It's really hard out there for self-employed people." I said, "I know, because I've been out there. Customers don't really want to pay. There isn't that much money out there. You're chasing customers, and for other people who are getting work, they're spending 1,000 to 2,000 to maybe 3,000 or 5 just to get leads, just to be recognized on SEO in their catchment area, and they're paying to be on the internet. So when you type in "need a plumber" and I'm in Hackney, their business pops up. But they're in Huddersfield. But they're in Islington. Islington's near to Hackney, but it wasn't a good example there. But you get what I mean, innit? Where's the local people popping up? They're paying for that. And you have to pay to be online. Like, I'll tell you one more thing. So the way my name is spelt, Mr. London Plumber, yeah? When you think about a company which is called Pimlico Plumbers, yeah? The spelling is always higher. Right? So if you ever go in to Google and you search it, you type in Mr. London Plumber, Pimlico Plumbers will come up straight after. But the spelling can't be beat. Do you get it? So this internet world and how we see things online has definitely changed everything. But we've got this information here now, people. What you do with it is up to you, you know. I just wanted to make it clear so people just got the idea now, innit? Why it's so hard and why companies are not hiring people. Companies don't want to take the responsibility of hiring people. People who have got businesses and they're self-employed, repeat customers are your most reliable sources out there. New customers and getting back to people is one of your biggest things what you need to do. You need to learn or set up an AI system to reply to customers immediately. Because we live in an instant world nowadays. Remember, you can go online. And this starts from like someone like Amazon. Amazon was a book shop. I don't know if you lot know that. Amazon was a book shop. But now they sell everything immediately. So people want that same concept when it comes to calling a tradesperson, contacting a tradesperson and getting somebody round. Because the first person to reply wins the war. That's for self-employed people. I always want people to take something from these lives when I make them, because they're not just me having a spill out. I do my research, and when I do my research, I come to my community and I share it, because I know I'm not the only person. Can't be. It's thousands of you lot. Hundreds of thousands. I want to know if anybody else who's a carpenter, building service engineer, works in multi-trade, electrician, carpenter, if you've ever come across any of these things, what I'm saying, and how has it affected your rate of pay at the moment? How has it affected you generally? Do you find it harder to find work? Or are you not just affected by this? I would really like to know in the comment section, people. Because I've said my points. I've said how I feel. I've said the things what I've went through. And I'm only trying to make clarity and try and work with people so we can build a better system for us. Because if this is happening to us now, the retirement age is what? 60, 70? You won't be retired till you're 80, boy. And girl. That's all I'm saying, because we, you know, like, work is about paying bills at the end of the day, and it's not about anything else. But if the system is broke, the people who are in the system must take control of it, not the companies. Because the companies do not exist without the people who work for them. Like, share and subscribe. And I appreciate anyone who comes in the chat to comment. Even if you drop a comment, tell me how it is for yourself. My name is Mr. London Plumber. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Have a great day. Be positive. Think about power moves in life. Watch this live all the way. Smash the bell. Subscribe.